Hello, this is a tutorial on how to process properties. The first step, of course, would be to open your database. The database here, you may want to spread out your columns just so that you can see what's fully written. Now, of course, when you get accustomed to looking at these columns, you can shorten them if you like. But for now, we're just going to spread them out so we can see what everything reads and what is supposed to go in each column. Now, typically when you receive these databases, what's going to be included is the subject address and the city. You're required to simply fill in the blanks. All right, and these are all your columns of information to plug in. So our first address here is labeled there. I'm going to open up my choice of internet browser, and I'm going to open all the windows necessary for me to complete my task. And one thing that I like to do for speed's sake is minimize the window of the internet browser, and I keep my screen minimized for my database so that I can easily move between the two and I can still see both screens. First window I'm going to open is Google Maps. This is the window that I'm going to use to search for addresses that sometimes we don't get the full address here, as you'll see shortly. So Google Maps helps me to find certain properties. My next window that I usually use is Redfin. Redfin is just a general home website that allows you to look up different properties, and they may give you some information that you need to plug in, as you'll see shortly. And some other websites that are kind of similar, but sometimes because these are not the MLS, you're going to find different information, sometimes varying information, so therefore we like to compare some other websites as well. So the next one I'm going to use is HomeSnap. And I typically open all these windows at the same time, and as I process each property, I just go across each one of these websites and verify information. After HomeSnap, I usually open Realtor.com. The next website is Zillow.com. Now, my next sites that I'm going to use are my county tax assessors. Now, in order to know what county tax assessors I'm going to need, I need to take a look at my database, and I see that I have a property here in Lawrenceville. I have a property in Atlanta, Marietta, Decatur, Atlanta. So I get an idea of some of the county tax assessors that I'm going to be using from the properties that I'm looking at. If I'm unfamiliar with a city or where its county is located, I'm going to eventually find that information out anyway once I search for the property's address in the websites that we've already opened. So our first property, for instance, is in Lawrenceville. I'm just going to copy and paste. This helps me to move along very quickly. So I'm going to enter that address here. I see that that's Lawrenceville, Georgia 30043. So now I have the zip code. I'm going to plug that in, 30043. Now I'm looking for the county. I know what county this is, but for sake of training, let's say I'm unfamiliar with this city. Now I'm going to go and plug it in my other, there it is there. All right, now I'm going to see if they have what county this property is located in. Now, as you get used to using these services, these different websites, you're going to grow accustomed to learning where you can find these things. Now, on this particular website, which is redfin.com, I can see that this property is in the Gwinnett County district. So this is Gwinnett County. So I'm going to put Gwinnett there. Now, I see they have some more information here that I could plug in. I see last sold price is $161,000. So here on our database, we have list price and a price sold $161K. And I like to get a date, but notice they don't have a date here. So we might have to find the date that it was sold on another site. But we're going to use what information we can find here. It tells me how many beds. So I'm going to go and plug in 4 beds. Now, FB is full baths. So this says 2.5 baths. So it's obviously 2 full baths and 1 half bath. The square footage that Redfin tells me is 2,120 square feet. And it tells me that the year built is here, 1988. So I'll go and put in year built, 1988. And that's about the gist that I see on this particular website. Now I'm going to go to my next website and see if I can get some additional information. While I'm looking at this new site, I'm going to also verify the information that I got from the previous one, because like I said, these are not the MLS service, so therefore you have to kind of look at some of the information. Now notice this one is different. This says that it's 4 beds, 3.5 baths, 2,120 square feet, built in 1988. All right. So that's some different information than we got on the last site. All right, our year built is the same, and we're just kind of verifying some things. Now here we have last sale date. We didn't have that on the previous site, so we're going to go ahead and plug that in. Sold $161K, as we found on the other site, and then we're going to put the date, June 28th, 2004. Now this also has the total amount of rooms, which we need that as well. This has 8 rooms, so we're going to plug that in, 8 rooms. Now we don't have a place in our database for garages and things of that nature, so we're going to exclude that information and move on. So now I'm on realtor.com, and again, I'm going to check the address because now we have some conflicting information. Our first site said that we have a 2.5 bath home. Our second site said we had a 3.5 bath home. All right, so here's our third site, realtor.com. And realtor.com also says it's a 2.5 bath. Now, realtor.com actually gave us some additional information, which is the square footage of the lot, or actually the acreage size of the lot, which we need that information in our database. So we go to land and we put in 0.29, which is the acres. Now, if possible, we also like to get the square footage of the land as well. But right now, for this particular site, it does not give us that information. So we're going to just scroll the site, see if there's any more information we can find on this particular site. And there is not. So we'll go to our next site, which is Zillow. And notice how I'm just copying and pasting the address in each website. Very simple. All right. Now on this one, okay, now we have 3 out of 4. It tells us that it's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. So I would say it's safe to say that we're going to go with the 2.5 bath instead of the 3.5. All right, and so now we're just looking to verify the information that we've gotten from the other sites. So far, so good. We have that 2120 square feet. We have that it's 4 beds, 2.5 baths, built in 1988, sold for $161,000 in June of 2004. 4 beds, 8 room count. And we also have, yep, so everything checks out. All right, now our next step is to move into the county information that we can find on the county website. So we found out that this property, according to Redfin, is located in Gwinnett County. So now we're going to open up Gwinnett County Tax Assessor website. So we're going to type in Gwinnett County Tax Assessor. There it is. And we're looking for the portion of this website that will let me know about the property information. So I'm going to look up property information search because that's what I'm looking to do here. So this is what the Gwinnett County website that you'll be using looks like. And now, just like all the other websites, I paste the address in and I search. Now here, we're going to find pretty much, we should find here the rest of the information that we need. All right. There's a link. If you notice, there's a link on Gwinnett County's website. We're going to move that link and put it in our database. Right, we're dragging it right to the section where it says parcel ID. If you see that there, parcel ID. So I'm going to drag this here to parcel ID, and there we just moved our hyperlink into our database. So now when we send this database back to the company, we're able to immediately click this link and it'll take us directly to the information that we have here on the county website. So now I'm going to click on this link and you'll see exactly what we're looking for. You know, actually, I'm going to go back a second and want to show you something. If you look at the map here, notice you get a map of the neighborhood. So if you're ever looking for a property in Gwinnett County and you have maybe like this address here. And as you'll see, if you have any of these addresses, you can kind of pull this map up and kind of get an idea of what house you need to actually find the records for. And we'll go into that in detail in a little bit. So I'm going to click the link again. Now here's the property detail sheet for the Gwinnett County tax assessor. And you also have a map here that you can utilize if you need. All right. Now what we're basically looking for here is the rest of our information on our database, such as the owner address. As you see, we have that information here. So I'm going to quickly move through this, copy, go to my database, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now this is different. You can't paste it here. You want to paste it right up here in this line. Paste. And now I'm going to bring it all up to one row. So that means I'm going to hit delete to bring everything back on one line, because I don't want to mess up the format. So I bring everything up to one line. Now I have the actual owner's address here. The next thing that I'm looking for is to fill in some of the blanks. The owner's location. All right. Is the owner's address, is he an out-of-state owner? Is this property owner occupied? That means that the owner lives there. Or is this property non-owner occupied, meaning the owner does not live there, but the owner is not out of state. The owner actually lives in the same state. So as we can see here, our subject address is here. The owner's address is here. So what this means is our owner is actually occupying the residence. So we're going to put in owner occupied. Now, once you get this typed in one time, if you ever have to type it in again, it'll usually remember it and make it a lot easier for you as you go. So this is owner occupied. Is it company owned or is it private owned? Company owned means a business owns it. If it's private owned, that means that someone's name is actually on the deed. And sometimes they may be bank owned or foreclosed. So we also want to make a note of that if it is bank owned or foreclosed. So in this case, it's a private owner. So we're going to type that in. Private owner. Now I just mentioned something that you can't see here. So I'll actually make a note of that for you guys to kind of remember and make it simple for you. Company owned, private owned, bank owned, or what's the last one I used? Foreclosure. Okay, so these are some of the options that you're going to be writing in this particular column, and we'll open it up here just so you can kind of see each of those. All right. And notes, sometimes you'll find something that you may need to write a note for. We'll see if we come across anything like that with this particular group of properties. All right, so now we have all the information here, and one thing we're missing is our land square footage. So here we have the acreage, 0.29. We're checking the information that we have here in the actual county website. We have it sold June 25th, 2004. So that's actually what we have here. The dates are a little off, but that's all right. We got the just June 25th. All right, and the price sold $161,000. So that is correct. All right, and we're gonna go and see what else we find on here. Year built 1988. All right, here's some more attributes that we find. 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1 half bath. We have that information already. And as we scroll down, now we find square footage. Total square footage, 2120. We actually have that information correct in the system, in our database. And we also have here's the acreage for the land. So here they don't have the square footage listed, so we'll just keep it at 0.29 acres and move on to the next property. We have now completed our first property. Now, of course, this goes much faster as you get accustomed to doing this. All right, so our next property, we have Aline Avenue. So I'm going to copy the address. So as we copy and paste our next address, this one happens to be a duplex. We're not going to copy and paste duplex. We just want the address. All right. Now we'll go and do starting all over from the beginning of our property list there. We're going to just simply copy and paste. Copy and paste. So here we see that this is an Atlanta property. Here's the zip code. We'll plug that in to our database, 30310. All right. Copy and paste into our next website. All right. Now here we have it sold July 6th. So we're going to go to our list price section and sold 65,000 July 6th, 2015. All right, we have year built 1930, 4 beds, 2 baths. Square footage, 1868. All right, now let's see if we can find any information on here that we need. All right, here's the county information, Fulton County. So we'll type that in. Fulton. Here's the lot size. Now notice this is the lot size in square footage. So we'll type that in this land section, 8,551. Year built. Square footage, we got all that. Fulton County. All right, now here's the acreage of the lot size, so it's half acre. Actually, it doesn't give us an exact account, so we'll look at one of the other sites to verify that information. All right, so we've got about all the information we can extract from that site. We'll go to the next one. And this is basically what we do for each and every property. You go through each one and now, if you notice, for this particular site, we didn't come up with the address by posting it that way. So I just deleted the Southwest, and now it came up in this format. So sometimes you have to play around with it. All right. So now we see here 4 beds, 2 baths, 1868 square feet. So we're finding the same information, 1930. Okay, so that's all we're getting here on HomeSnap. We'll go to our next one. Okay. So here we find a little additional information. We find that there's 8 rooms. All right, and that's about all the additional information we find from this site. We'll go to our next site. Let's see what we find here. And it looks to be that we find nothing new here. So next we're going to go to the county website. So now this county is different from our last. This is actually Fulton County. So as any county that you're looking for the county tax assessor website. So we're going to look for Fulton County tax assessor. Now here we're looking for, again, something that we can find property records or a property search. So here you see there's a link, property records. So we're going to click on property records, and there it is. We're clicking here to search property records. Now we're going to use the search by location address because that's the information that we have. You can also search by owner name, parcel number, and any other information that you may have. Sometimes you may not have an address, but you may have an owner name, so you can actually look for it that way as well. On any of these websites, you have those options. So here we have the address. We're going to just simply, now for this website, you can't copy and paste. Notice they say the street number here. So we're going to type in the street number. All the county tax assessors may differ. So we have a street number, 1048, and the street name, Aline. If you notice, they give you a group of names so they kind of help you out. So we have a street number and address. We're going to go ahead and search, and there we have it. There's the information. Now remember, we need the parcel ID link. So we're going to take this link and we're going to move it into this box like so. So the next people that we send this to are able to just click on that link and go directly to this website. All right, now we're going to click that link just like we did before. Now here's the owner's information. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Now with this website, if you notice, it's not like Gwinnett County. We can't simply copy and paste because it copies every row. So we're just going to do individually, copy and paste the name first. Then the address, owner, mailing address. All right, and then the city and zip code. All right, so now we're done with the owner's information there. Now we find, is this property, where's the owner's location? So as we can see, the owner does not live at the address, and the owner does not live out of state. They do live in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to put non-owner occupied. All right, is it company owned, private owned, bank owned, or foreclosure? As we see, there's someone's personal name there, so we're going to say private owned. All right. Now the only information that we're missing is possibly the square footage of the lot. So let's see if they have that information. And as we're looking for that, we're also verifying the information that we have gotten thus far. We see that it's 8 rooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,868 square feet, built in 1930. So all of our information is matching up that we found on our other sites. Okay. Here's our sales price, $65,000, June 26, 2015. Let's just verify that. All right. So again, the dates are different, but the price is the same. We'll just stick with what we have. That's really not major difference. All right. So that's the only information. We're not able to get the square or the land acreage from off of the county website, but that's fine. We do have the square footage. So we'll keep it moving and we go to our next line. Now this property is actually found in Marietta. So we're going to copy and paste our address. And notice how I'm picking up the pace here to show you that as you get accustomed to doing this, you're going to begin to move much faster. So notice what I'm doing is going to each website really quick, copying and pasting, or pasting the address in each row, just getting it set up and ready to go. So now all I need to do is just come on back down the line